Don't know. Right, take two. Okay. I can hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still you're good.
Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me? Is there any echo? He can't hear you. No.
There's the expression of love, JD, just in case. I'll translate.
Yeah.
We got roll tonight.
Well, we've got two options. Either you and me, Simon, do the rundown, or we postpone it until tomorrow or something, maybe.
Like. You do like a ventriloquist dummies act.
Yes.
Scott can talk without speaking.
No. Okay. Yep. Absolutely. It's casing it though. Okay. So we can't hear Scott, or you can't hear Scott. So we'll do just Simon and I will go ahead and do the rundown. Okay. So today we've got 6 games to see from last week. So very quite a few games have been played, and seems to be some quite fun games as well. So just starting straight off with the Amazons versus Humans in my league. So this was my game that I played against Leanne, and from, as you can tell from the stats, I was very lucky to come away with a 3-0 win.
Very self-deprecating team name.
Yes. So I will sit back, and if you want to ask any questions, Simon, please do about how the game went or what.
Yeah, sure. I guess we'll run down quick, haven't we? So, were you pretty even to start off? You had a little edge on sort of team value, didn't you? Did that play into it much?
Yeah, so I've got I had a full team, which was nice, and Leanne had to take a journeyman or a journeywoman in her Amazon team. It was a fun game to say the least. Not I don't think I've taken anything away from Leanne. Leanne is new to the game. I think in fact she mentioned that this was her 9th game overall that she's ever played. So So it was a nice game to play, but she clearly has some very lucky dice. Because although I took an early lead, I was getting a bit greedy with the dice rolls myself, and I stat busted my own ogre with a boat down.
I did see that in strength stat bust, which is pretty devastating.
Yep. So he's now gone and been replaced.
Oh, he's been insta-fired. No,
longer. Insta-fired. I got rid of him completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Then Leanne came back and she nearly scored, and I did a cheeky surf, so I managed to surf the ball carrier. The ball bounced over the touchdown line and then straight to the middle of the pitch where one of my human linemen was standing there with the ball.
Frank Butterfingers. Once again, the self-deprecating name seems to be the antithesis here. Seems to be naming them badly and they'll perform outstandingly.
That was the idea, fingers crossed. Yeah, exactly. But it was a good fun game, and I think we both enjoyed it on that perspective. Unfortunately, I didn't get to come away with very many SPP. Unfortunately, I was expecting to get a little bit more, and I've randomised a few new skills on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've now got to jump up on one of my catchers. I've also got grab on a blitzer as well. So we've got a few new skills on there. I've got 2 more games to play in my division. We'll come back to that later on in the thing. So it was a good fun game, good game to start off the week's matches with on that perspective.
With completion, there was nice. Were you planning to play like a throwing game, or was it what opened up and you just saw it?
Well, I keep hearing and seeing people doing these completions on their throwers. So it's the fact is that I thought, well, I need to get some SPP on the thrower, and it seems the easiest way to do it. So if you've got throwers on your team and some good catches and your average is pretty good, it seems the way to go to quickly gain some SPP on your throwers from that perspective. So yeah, it was good fun.
Nice, for sure.
Yeah, so we've got a few little extra skills on that side of things. So moving quickly on to the next game, which was the World's Edge Berserkers against the T-Belly Trudgers. So this was a bit of an interesting one because it was on.
Look, very aggressive strategies. Looking at the rundown of the game already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was an interesting one on the basis that, as you from the inducements, Justin was now fielding 3 treatment, so he was going pretty hardcore on that side of things. Plus a halfling master chef, which can obviously steal all your rerolls, and a few kind of assistant coaches and cheerleaders for good luck.
Yeah, it's a big old gap in inducement. It's a big gap in team value, isn't it?
Yeah, so then it started a bit kind of interesting, because correct me if I'm wrong for anyone in chat, but I hear that Justin won the kickoff but chose to kick the ball rather than receive it. So I don't know where that came from, what kind of special tactic he was looking from on that perspective. But then things started to unfortunately unravel a little bit by the looks of things. By turn 3, or even turn 4, he was 3 down already. Yeah. So just to kind of find out for yourself, Simon, have you played against dwarves or against halflings yet?
I have not. So I'm a rookie coach of this league. In my division, I've got 2 known teams and a Chaos Chosen team. So I've got a very skewed view of Blood Bowl in my limited experience so far. What I know of dwarves is that they are quite punchy and angry. I've definitely seen that the death roll that I alluded to. I don't know if there's one in this. Oh, there is one in this team. There it is. For sure. But I mean, that Grim Forgebreaker on his team, his number 1, looks like a nasty player. I'm just trying to see if he's got the Mighty Blow on there with him.
He does.
Oh, he does indeed, doesn't he? God on Mighty Blow makes for a very unpleasant combination, I imagine. So it looks like he did his work and executed his game plan really well there.
Absolutely, yeah. And in fact, he looks like he's got 3 players with Mighty Blow on that dwarf team as well now.
Quite terrifying.
Yeah, it's quite a terrifying prospect to go up against. And the fact is that Death Roller actually stayed on the pitch all the way through the first half. So that, again, would have been quite a kind of dangerous piece to be on there with such little squashy characters on it.
Death Roller.
Exactly, yeah. So it kind of looked like the touchdown was slowly brought in on the first touchdown was on turn 8, so right at the end of the first half.
And the second on the end of turn 16, so the dwarf player clearly sort of came in with that game plan. They're quite slow as a team, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah.
He's clearly executed. He came with a very clear plan of how he wanted the game to go. And it seems like he's managed to execute that really well because he's held the ball, kept it in the first half, scoring in the last turn, managed to execute the same thing in the second, which is, it's impressive, isn't it? It's nice when it all goes to plan, which has not been my experience of Blood Bowl.
I believe when I spoke very briefly to Justin on the way out, at one point there was just the tree men left on the pitch. So only 3 tree men left on the pitch against the dwarfs. So it was a bit of a unfortunate turn of events for the halflings on that side of things. But we'll come back to whether that's had a big impact on what the division looks like for them on that side of things a little bit later.
I was about to comment that they seem to have come off relatively okay, and I noticed the poor dead halfling catcher.
Yes.
Turn 7, so there was quite a lot of gratuitous violence in that game, wasn't there?
Well, you can always expect that with dwarves.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly. So, moving on to the next game, and that is the Graveyard Groovers Shambling Undead against the Golden Oldies Old World Alliance. So, these 2 teams are quite Marmite, I believe. Definitely Old World Alliance. There's 3 of them in the actual divisions, and we've mentioned them several times on this. Could you ever see yourself playing either of these teams, Simon?
I think if I was to pick one, if I was going to, the Shambling Undead, I love the sculpts for them. The sort of proper full American football style helmets on a skeleton are just a lovely. They're like fun models to paint. I'm primarily an orc player in the rest of my tabletop games, so they are wonderful. And again, I suppose the selection of options you have in the Old World Alliance makes that quite an attractive team as well, doesn't it? Because you can tailor your play style a little bit more. And again, sort of, I found when I started Blood Bowl painting the miniatures, I think the sculpts are all absolutely stunning. I don't know if there's just more time that goes into them because they're a smaller range. But from a hobby perspective, the actual process of painting those teams, I've got the starter sets, I've got an Imperial Ability team to do, and I'm absolutely ecstatic to give that a go as well, just because they look beautiful. I don't think they'll see much play from me. They seem like a very weird team to play, but they just look lovely to paint. But if I was a picking man, I'd take the Shambling Undead.
Okay. Well, you're clearly picking the winning team on this side of the game.
Inside of the result there.
So there's been a couple of there was a casualty first and foremost with the ogre, but I'm taking from that there was no injury caused, that the Shambling Undead regened, so basically just got that player straight back in the dugout. There's a few
regen sort of ability in the team.
Correct. Yeah. So if you go into the actual stats of the Shambling Undead, a number of them have got regeneration. So basically that means that if you get a casualty or you get casualty or dead, you roll 1d6, and on a 4 up, they just simply come back to life.
Ooh, that makes them very interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, so even though they're not the let's have a look. They've got
movement. Their linemen are reminiscent of less strong Black Orcs, really, aren't they? From a very design perspective.
Yeah. The mummies are, again, they're both 3, and the zombie linemen are 4s, and skeletons. I think the skeletons are 5. Yeah, they're movement 5. So the real big ones are your ghoul runners. And as you can tell, they don't have regen. So you've got that situation on there.
Make up carefully with them, otherwise you suddenly find yourself possibly. But again, you've got quite a mixed range of a team there, haven't you?
Absolutely. And I think you can have some fun with it because you've got lots of different types of players in there. So you've got you can play it really like punchy with your mummies and also using lots of skeletons or zombies just to kind of gum up the works. But then you've also got 4 ghoul runners and some white blitzers to kind of really give some speed and some ball handling on the side of things as well. And it looks like Robert made some good use of those with both the haunted hip hop ghoul runner scoring both touchdowns on that side of things.
That's a good day of the office there, hasn't he? And another dead halfling. It's been a bad week to be a halfling, hasn't it? In the Arks Dragons Blood Bowl League, halflings are dropping dead left and right. Bless them.
Yeah. So it's not successful for the old halflings at the moment on that side of things. Okay. Cool. Yep. Can you hear you? Absolutely.
Your sound's still out, I'm afraid.
Just put something in the chat, see if anyone can answer if it's just you. Yeah, it is just you, got. Yeah, we'll carry on and Scott.
I mean, if you've got bits to add, chuck them in and we can talk around them or raise them for sure, can't we?
Cool. Okay, well, we'll continue. We've got 3 games left, so it's a quick night tonight anyway. But we'll go carry on to the Lustrian Legends against the Double Yokes. So this is in Scott's group, and this is a tough match because you're playing against Tom Huns, and as Scott well knows, he's a very good player. He hasn't lost this season. But it started off with a quick touchdown. So it looks like it's been straight away 1-0 down to the Lustrian Legends, and then it starts to get some problems. So Asaurus Brocker is out by turn 6 by being badly injured, by a casualty by a Jaguar Warrior, and then it's back on with a 1-1 draw at turn 8. So at half time, we'll level again. Straight away in turn 10 in the second half, we've got a badly injured skink there. And then in turn 14, it was 2-1, so that Tom took the lead in that one. But it wasn't over just yet because you know, so Sam got a bit of a little prize there by injuring one of the Warrior Blitzers right at the end and turn 15. So,
all you want to see, isn't it? The vindictive kind.
Yeah. So with that kind of play, you know, you want to get to that point, don't you, Sam?
Sure. Good mention. There's only three players in the league, aren't there, that are undefeated? We have Rich in my league playing his Riotous Rams. The Groovers, who we mentioned earlier, are 3 games undefeated so far.
Yep.
There's a lot to play for. Oh, and the Dead Star Belgrades are also undefeated currently. So there are a few teams that are carrying that banner. But I will say Tom's played 5 of his games so far, so he is close to having a perfect season in the regular season, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. He is definitely on to be the one to get the perfect seasons and that side of things.
So I'm not on some words, sorry, Tom. Don't know how sporting conditions work in Blood Bowl, but I want to offer you the jinx there. We've said it now, it's too late.
Exactly. That's what happens. Yeah. Enough was heard, and now he'll go. And the next day will be all your fault. No. But no, it's going to be a tough one in that game. And we said it last in the last Monday night roundup. He's through now. He's already through into the playoffs on that side of things. But I suppose from the others, that kind of potentially brings Scott back in on that division potentially to come through, because I know that Sam's only got 1 game left, but Scott's got 2, and so has Simon in that division as well. So it'll be all to play for and look at on that side of things. Cool. So we'll move on to probably one of the most important games of the week, wasn't it?
Depends heavily on your perspective, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, certainly.
Talk us through it then.
Yeah, sure. So this is the rematch between myself and David, so the Wild Mile Wasp and the Dry Stone Defenders. We love a bit of alliteration in Blood Bowl, don't we? Everyone's team name is almost obligatory, must be alliterated. So this was it was a close. I think it's a reverse of our first match. I think David took our first match 2-1, and I managed to scrape a 2-1 this time. So there was a huge amount of throwing, is what I will say on that first one there. So the first half I received. We took a while to slowly sort of move the ball down the field, trying to aggressively injure as many gnomes as we possibly can, while staying away from aggressive trees. My orcs started this season feeling very tough and strong, and have been whacked by so many tree men. I think they've got some sort of tree-induced PTSD. They came in feeling tough and just been thwacked with branches. But David took a few risks in some nice throw player actions, which unfortunately for him ended up in Treeman flinging gnomes at the floor more than anything else, which was the throw player action is a risky one and a fun one. So I got a touchdown a little earlier than I liked. David played some really nice Blood Bowl just to sort of force me to speed that up a little bit. And then you can see on turn 7 he pulled off the 1-turn touchdown, flinging a gnome in the opposite direction. So we finished the half 1-1, which was quite tense. And then in the second half, I got incredibly lucky throughout this game. So I kicked in the second half, and we rolled the blitz, which David stated anything but blitz. The ball deviated right up to the halfway line, and one of my goblins was there to get straight underneath it. From there, it was a very heavy back and forth, sort of crunchy grudge match with me attempting to get a ball towards his end zone. I played some terrible Blood Bowl partway through. Played some terrible Blood Bowl partway through that. And in the last 2 turns, my ball carrier dodged into another dodge zone. Classic rookie mistake. So I made the first dodge, and then give me 2 seconds. Yeah. An impatient dog. Sorry about that. So we dodged into another dodge zone, which. Not a mistake I'll make again, because we made the first dodge and then failed the second dodge. resulting in me scrambling in my final turn, and we just about to the wire managed to pull it off. It was a very close run thing. But yeah, it was a really fun game, and David is an absolutely wonderful opponent. He's so nice to play. It's been my consistent experience through the Blood Bowl League so far. Everyone's been delightful to play against, and really well. That was my 4th game of Blood Bowl ever. So we're doing it on,
you must now probably in the league have the most kind of games against gnomes. So
I managed to somehow pull a very gnome-heavy league.
Yeah, because as we know, they're a new team, so not a lot of people have actually played with them or against them. So how do you find them as an opponent?
I mean, they're really interesting. The tree men are absolutely terrifying. You feel like there's very little you can do. I mean, I've got a fairly bashy, aggressive team in orcs, and the tree men are hard to get a block off, even a 1 dice. You've really got to engineer more than that. I actively try to foul the absolute life out of them as well. I've got a sneaky get on my team. But yeah, there's maybe the downside to them is they have a root ability, so they have to roll to see if they just putting roots down, which and they're not particularly mobile. So you can do your best to run away from them. It's just whatever you put on the line, you sort of have to be willing to accept that it's going to get mauled by a tree. Again, I got really lucky on the dice. My lineman spent a lot of time being smashed down and standing back up to get smashed down again. It was every time a nail biter of an experience. So again, this is, as we were saying sort of pre-podcast, it's Blood Bowl very much comes down to luck some days, and I think really that was the only thing that got it for me there, was I managed to just get some luck. The illusionists are interesting as well. They can choose where they're blocked. They sort of pop up and reappear, which, again, if you're more inexperienced, you go for the block on them, and sometimes you can actually end up putting them into an advantageous position for them. You can end up them dodging to behind your player, and you end up pushing them closer to your ball carrier or something like that. So, David plays them really well. I think he just had an awful day at the office with dice.
Okay. Well, hopefully, there's how many more games are left in your division on that side?
I think me and I've got to play the Rams, which again I've got tree PTSD and goat PTSD from my league so far. So the Rams to play, and I've got the other gnome team to play. So 2 more games for most of us. I think Rich's got 3. And it's a close league, I think.
Yeah, so good luck on that. So we'll see. We'll come back to the extra divisions after the final match, which is the Big Critters, another known team against Inglorious Pastors, which is Nurgle. So this is again a very interesting match with both the 2-star players on the gnome team, the new 2-star players on the gnome team, making an appearance on that side of things. And it does seem to be one of those nice, kind of pleasant matches where there was fouling, there was casualties, and there was touchdowns on both sides.
Really like back, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, with the gnomes, would you have thought that they would have the score would be 1-1, or would you have thought that Nurgle would have won or the gnomes would have won?
Yes, that's a really tough one to call, isn't it? I think the gnomes have a lot of versatility to their play style. Maybe by nature, the stuntiness I think is a tricky team to play. I think sort of a common adage in Blood Bowl circles, isn't it? You're almost setting yourself up for an additional challenge there if you're going stunty heavy, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think just from my perspective, I will always root for Nurgle, just because again I love the sculpts of those. I think they're absolutely stunning. And that game was going on the other table when we were playing ours, and the delightfully named Mega Smegma is a really nice model that he's got there that he's running on that, and it's So I would have rooted Nurgle, I think, just from that's cool and gross perspective.
Very good. Yeah, so again, it looks like the gnomes got a bit of a pounding. So as you say, there this week was a bit of a bad time for if you were stunty by the looks of things. Both halflings and gnomes getting an absolute pasting.
Interesting, the cunning route completion there. I think the treemen come with strong arm. I'm not sure if that affects their throwing or just their player throwing.
Good question. I think it might affect just the throwing as well on that side of things. From that perspective, which no doubt helps with the idea that they can get a few like SPP. So it's been interesting on these actual treemen, as you've quite rightly put it, because all three teams that are running gnomes have got quite a few SPP on their treemen, which is quite nice to see. So that's a really interesting kind of thing to beef up these treemen, because again, I suppose you focus on them rather than your kind of more squishier players on that level.
And they're just so incredibly durable. The 11 up on a save. You're sort of valuable. David's played a very fun game of just randomly taking his. So I think it's one of his treemen. I think both his treemen potentially with pile driver, which is an interesting combination. And you sort of take that the dice shape his team there, which I think is a really fun way to play it. Creates a nice narrative there, doesn't it? And there's definitely some threats of some treemen pile driving some Black Hawks. Never quite came off, but it was almost. It was the threat was hanging in the air, which is slightly terrifying. Also, the visual is just magnificent, isn't it? Of a tree.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, you said before, there's some great sculpts out there for all of these, both Games Workshop and other type. And just for clarity, just going back with the strong arm, it just gives you a +1 modifier on the passing ability when performing a throw teammate. So it's only throw teammate. So they must have been getting completions on throwing teammates, which is quite an interesting new angle for these, because again, before gnomes came out, treemen were very rarely seen apart from in halfling teams. So it's nice to get a few more in, so they get some more kind of nice big guys to play around on the pitch and give you a bit of muscle on there. So yeah, excellent. It'd be interesting also to hear from John and Nick as to whether or not any of the new star players played a key role in scoring any of those touchdowns, on the basis that I believe Rodney Roachbait can nick the ball with his fishing rod and pull it in closer to him.
Of course, yes. That'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it?
It would. So if anyone knows that, please put it in chat or let us know later. That's how it is. So that was all the games we've got for this week. So it's been a nice and quick game. So should we just jump into the groups, the divisions, and have a little run through and see what we've got on that side of things?
Sure.
So Orgadoras is the one I'm in, is the group I'm in. I'm just ahead of Jane with her Necromantic Horrors. But I've got that booked in, and also my rematch with Leanne on the 22nd and 23rd. So there's going to be a few weeks of wait in our division until we've got that sorted. And I think Jane's got one more game against Jack from that perspective. So fingers crossed, we're going to get some quite good games in there. Jack's through at the moment, and I'm trying to get on his heels, but I'm still a good 10 points behind him. The next one is Budweiser. So how do you see these kind of divisions from your angle there, Simon, as a new coach in here? Do you find these being quite close, or are you already seeing some star coaches out there?
Sure. I mean, it's interesting, wasn't it? I think a few of these read very clearly. It's tough. The point system, is that coming off of a touchdown difference as well? Run me the points, because I'm not even too clear on the points, how they're scoring points in that way.
So, to be honest, I don't know that well either. The best people is actually Scott and Chris. I've never got that many points to even sort of think about how to go up the table. But I believe it is based on a number of factors here. So you are based on most games played, how many you've won, how many you've drawn, how many you lost. got the classic scoring system on the side, but I also believe that touchdowns and casualties also come into play as well.
There's numbers underneath each one, isn't there? There's a +8 on the touchdown ratio, there's a +1 on the
Exactly.
So I'm assuming they're playing in. But yeah, you can see some of these leagues they're getting, as we hit this halfway point almost, just past, and we've got more and more games played. It's becoming more cut and dry. The Chaos Cola League is looking still quite tight, isn't it?
Absolutely, and they've been playing quite. They've all got only 2 games left as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all to play for at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're all very close. There's, even Elliot with his Necromantic Horror could potentially kind of nick it and come on.
Yeah, the touchdown ratios are very close. It's been very even scoring games, hasn't it? So in that division, there's the World's Edge Berserkers have been putting up some serious injuries, which I think is 18-3, which I think is, and the T-Belly Trudgers has almost taken a good brunt of those by the looks of the stats there.
Yes.
The Budweiser League looks fair. I wouldn't want to say fairly settled so far, but it's going to have to be a close. It's going to have to be with one team having finished their run now. There's going to have to be some big shifts there to make some stuff happen, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. I think Luke's going to be looking at the next couple of games in his division with kind of fingers crossed that no big plays are made on that side of things. Absolutely.
Yeah, certainly.
And then equally with your division with McMurtry's, you're kind of on you've won 2, you've lost 2, but also Dave, who's Jason Gnomes have done exactly the same. He's slightly ahead of you because he hasn't conceded as many touchdowns as you, so he's only 1 ahead of you. So again, there's still everything to play for in that division for you.
Yeah, I mean the bounty out on the nanny on the Riotous Rams. I think there's almost a division consensus that if it goes one way or the other, perhaps there'll be a less of a chasing and more of a goat hunting, fun key games. Because that thing is terrifying to play against. Rich plays his team very, very well there.
If you kill it, there may be special exceptions for you to get an automatic pass straight through the final.
Parade, something like that. It's a reliable player, isn't it? I mean, he plays it very well. That sort of strike and go style that he has for, like I was saying earlier about the match that we ran down. He's got a very clear game plan, and I think as a rookie coach, something I'm working on trying to develop and understand. I think I'm more reactive at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting way to play some more experienced players and watch them go. I know exactly how I want it to go, and I'm going to follow that game plan. But there's every time I see a Discord notification pop up, there's a little spark of hope that it's a dead nanny.
Have you got that game yet?
So I've got Rich, I've got the Rams, and I've got the Honkingtons to play still. David's got the Rams and the Honkingtons to play still. We've almost sort of mirrored each other. We've won. Dave beat me once. I beat him once. We both lost to Rich. We both won against Honkington. So it's very tight there. So it'll be interesting.
Good luck. So we'll move on to next week, and here we've got a few kind of winners and a few unfortunate losers at the moment. With the Golden Oldies sitting there at the bottom, unfortunately losing to the Graveyard Groovers, which are sitting at the top in this week's games. Just to mention and make it aware to everyone, we're now just over halfway through the division games. So the actual official stop should be on the 4th of July. So if you can get the games in, I know that a few have already been booked in, so looking forward to seeing the remainder of those kind of games on that side of things. And then if we move on to Ikilia, on this one, again, Simon, you've got that situation where one team has played all their games. So, again, being a new coach, have you enjoyed spreading out your games, or would you want to get all your games over and done with?
I quite like the spread out nature of it. It's a fun way to experience the league, I think, because you get to sort of see what's happening in the surrounding league. You can see what's going on with the other coaches. It adds that layer of real enjoyment to, as you said earlier, with yoga. Straight fired. I imagine that's a stern talking to and a bye-bye. Too bad. And it's that sort of narrative aspect that I think makes the Blood Bowl game, especially in the league format, so enjoyable. Is that you have that almost that league style each week. Going, okay, right, who have I got? What's it going to look like? Oh, I've got that injury now. Okay, how's it going to change my game? I think that really brings to life a really fun aspect to the game, which is really nice. I can see the appeal of getting games done, to sort of know where you are, which is a nice thing. I think moving forwards, I think I'll continue playing in this week by week fashion. It's quite a nice way to do things. That league looks interesting, doesn't it? I mean, the big uns have got 2 more games to go. They'd have to get some big scoring games up, wouldn't they? Or it looks like the main differentiator there, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So I think the big uns, if I'm not mistaken,
we must have the Plague Brigade and the Shambling under Belgrave go.
So I think they've got one of each. Yeah, I believe so. That side of things. So that'll be an interesting couple of games to see if Harrison makes it up to kind of knock on the door of Scott's Flamingo.
Looking to also grab a perfect season. So again, some real nail biters, I imagine, in the coming weeks for those guys to settle some scores, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so moving on to like the penultimate division here, this one is kind of unfortunately a little bit more wrapped up on that side of things, on the basis that Phil with the Gilded Knights hasn't played all his games, but he's sitting there at third.
Yeah, tough way to go, isn't it?
It is, and with JD, he's bringing us sitting pretty at the top there. He got a quick run on it very early on in the season on that side of things. So we can kind of almost say at this point that the top 2 are definitely going through on this one.
Yeah, it's very cut and dry, isn't it? I suppose it'd be depends what matches are in hand still, doesn't it? But yeah, you can see who's progressing on, can't you?
Exactly, yeah. And the final division is obviously Scott's division, which unfortunately he cannot talk about because his mic's still gone by the looks of things. But he is knocking at the door. He could pull off some good kind of scoring. I'm sure he's been doing his numbers and working out the best way to get those bonus points and bringing it all back in. Because I believe he's got a few games planned coming up. But yeah, we'll hope to hear about them later on in next week's Blood Bowl Live on that side of things. So I think just to round up and just to make sure that we finish off in time, and so people aren't being deafened by our echoing in our audio, so we apologise for the audio on that side of things. Just to kind of round it all up, as I mentioned before, the cut-off period for all the division games is the 4th of July, I believe, unless someone corrects me. It is the 4th of July. So get your games in. As always, book them into Aardvarks and Dragons. And if you're there, and you found your dice aren't playing the right games, there's plenty more dice in there to buy. Plus, also a new team if you're fed up or you're frustrated with your current team on that side of things. So just a roundup. Thank you very much, Simon, for your commentary on that. It was great to see you. We are now doing a special on the basis that every guest that comes to Blood Bowl Live not only gets immortalised on all the socials and YouTube and everything like that, but you also get a brand new Blood Bowl Live VIP sticker as well.
Awesome.
So if you want to get a sticker and get some free goodies and that kind of thing, and you want to be part of the Monday Night Live kind of roundup, let us know. Get in touch. We're more than happy to have more of the coaches on there. So until then, it's a good night from all of us.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to you. Thank you very much, Simon. And goodbye, Scott. Is he going to wave? Is he going to do miming a routine? Yes, he is. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.